hey, two, hey, one, hey, two, hey, three, hey, four, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Everybody get up. Ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Everybody get up. Everybody get up.
And we're back. Part 3. This is a great discussion. We are here with Mataji Amin, Rav'n, myself, LaDios Muhammad, and we are talking about images on TV and film from a young adult's perspective. So we would discuss about how to get away with murder and some of the images that are projected. Now let's talk about the Oval. Now, when we talk about some raunchy stuff, y'all like the reality shows. I like that raunchy stuff.
Well, I imagine it's a little bit like what was it? If loving you is wrong.
I couldn't.
That was pretty raunchy for me.
I can't watch that.
And I just got done with that one. I'm like, I don't know if I want to step back into that pool.
No, this is lighter.
That's what the Oval kind of reminds me of. Just they have better positions, right?
Yeah.
What's it about?
So the Oval is about the this interracial family. Let me get their names. So Victoria Franklin and Hunter Franklin, they're married, and they come into the presidential office. So it's all about their lives. And one thing they do is they match up the children, though, so you can clearly look and see that they're biracial. Thanks. Good job, Tyler, on doing that. The Victoria Franklin is played by Kyron Moore, and her husband, who's Hunter Franklin, is played by Ed Quinn. So I love this show. I really do. When I first seen it, I was like, oh no, this is garbage. But now I'm hook, line, and sinker. It's another interracial relationship. Now, one thing I don't like about this show is the woman who's the lead, Victoria Franklin, played by Kyron Moore. She represents the angry, black, bitter, mean woman. And once again, here we are with that image. She's very sophisticated, very refined. She has a horrible relationship with her kids.
But also high maintenance. That's the other statement, right?
Yes,
She's going to be a high maintenance diva that might cut your balls off. So,
exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. She demasculates the man. And then on the flip side, so she's with this man. Now, okay, let me tell you something that I like. Versus how to get away with murder, and this is just my 2 cents. One thing about Tyler Perry, if he puts a black woman with a white man in his movies,
they're fine.
They're fine. Thank you, Tyler. I can dig that because now we ain't got no throwbacks. They're fine. So this guy, Ed Quinn is a very handsome looking man. So I love how
What role does he play?
He plays the president. And I'm so glad Tyler keep doing that. I can respect that. If you're going to put us on screen with someone of a different race, make sure they look good. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, once again, she's this angry. And now he's depicted as spineless, weak, and unintelligent.
Sure.
And I'm just like, what the,
Not powerful.
He has no power. In fact, hers is all dominant. Her power is all dominant because basically now this is kind of cool. Her family is the wealthy family that put him in the White House. Sure. So they got some power. So I thought that was pretty positive. But again, she's this angry, and it's a very dysfunctional family.
Sure.
Then we got Empire. That's been directed by Lee Daniels. Have you guys seen Empire?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Now, I loved Empire. I watched it from beginning to end. We got Empire where it's Lucius Lyon, played by Terrence Howard. And then we have Cookie by Taraji P. Henson. So now we got the drug dealer who's turned hip-hop Mongol.
Yeah,
so
and wasn't she an ex-con?
Yeah, she was an ex-con because she took a rap for her husband to protect him and did 18 years in there. I really like this show. Did you get a chance to watch some of these episodes?
Yeah, I have not finished it, but
yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I like the show. I love the ability to provide like a creative outlet for Black individuals and to be able to make capital off of it. Obviously, I think with any show, unfortunately, I think just with a show, you have to have a plot.
Yes.
And someone's always going to get dinged. And so I think, obviously, we hit the ding portion of Terrence Howard being a drug dealer and being homophobic.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Yeah.
also, again, even with Cookie, like, being a ride or die chick for her husband. And,
Yeah.
Yeah,
always,
putting up with so much that
I hate
settling,
that.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Going back to that shit, like,
Yeah.
I hate that. I'm
We're
sorry,
expected
like,
to
why
settle.
do women, and even you see, again, just going back to current situations, black women are always on the front line.
Yes.
Well, and
Black men.
I have a real life like example, and I have a really good friend that's Laotian, kind of Thai looking, and she came here to America when she was about 3. And back in her 20s, I will tell you what, she must have been smoking hot, because she's all of like 5 feet tall and has the cute little figure and dark skin and all of that. And she told me about dating some black guy, and he was like, you know, you should be like black women and act like I am a fucking king and put me on a damn pedestal because of all of this. And so that's a standard that can be kind of hard for women to, like, sometimes appeal to, like, okay, because especially if you're not raised in that, it's like, oh no,
raised in what?
I want to see that example in your family. Like, people accuse me of being a diva, and I do expect men to be kind of in a subservient position to me and to do things for me, and I like to be the boss and those kind of things. I won't find that with a lot of brown men. I'm just saying. You know, at the end of the day. Well, and I'm just saying, but at the end of the day. You got a brown man,
don't you? Yeah. So she got. So
yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, there's certain things that I can. Yeah, I don't know.
There's
I'm not going to go into I'm not going to go into how I mistreat people. But anyways, yeah, going back to Empire.
But why is it? Now this is good because you made a good point, and I know Rav'n and I spoke about that because we did a review on remember what was it got the little boy, I can't even call it, the little boy, the guy who grew up and he ended up killing the drug dealer.
All day and a night.
All day and a night, and we were talking about the girl and how she was a ride or die chick.
I
And
like
I'm
that
like,
narrative.
we're not gonna be fucking ride or die. You do wrong, I'm out the door. I ain't got time. You got one chance and one chance only.
That ride or die was messed up, but that's expected in inner city,
especially
and the more
in the black community.
Yes, the more inner city, the more, you know, the more that it's accepted, the more that it's expected.
Yes.
You know, like, it's
But
just
then
a sad
that's good
thing.
to change
But
that
that's
narrative.
Also, how much does our community get affected by these images and try to play up to them? Like I was talking about last week, colors. I blame Hollywood and the government on that gang epidemic because before that movie came out, there was not a gang problem in little old Colorado. But after that movie, everybody claimed dissent. And it never really went away. So, you know, in some ways, Hollywood is completely complicit in how we think about things. Ice Cube, right? You know, he's a great producer, all of this. Man, he offended the shit out of me with one of his movies recently because it was called The Janky Ass Producers. And it was just 2 black men being portrayed as the most scandalous. Oh my God, it was just off-putting. And I was mad at Ice Cube. I was mad.
Janky Promoters.
Yeah, Janky Promoters, not Janky Ass. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, wait, was that with Mike Epps? Mike
Yes. I mean, it was funny, but I'm like, dude,
Damn.
you don't need to be showing us like this, especially after you've made your money off the back of that. Because if you think about NWA and how much that contributed,
but I liked
black
NWA
people,
because
I liked
they were
NWA,
like, fuck the police.
but I
and
had
they were
some
talking
fucked
about
up views about Black America because of NWA. And if I was removed from Black America, then that means everybody else that was removed from Black America with me also had fucked up views about Black community because of NWA.
But NWA was more of a protest, and that was
and
an
not
outlet.
not just NWA. I
But
don't
that
want
was
to
a
do that.
protest and an outlet, and then they were in comparison, like
Sure.
like Nipsey.
Yeah.
But at the
Or
same
Nipsey
time,
Hussle.
Dr. Dre, you know, you've seen pictures of him
Hustle.
and his.
Nipsey Hussle.
You've
Nipsey
seen
Hussle.
the
If you talk
construction
about
crew. You
Nipsey
know about the
Hussle-
construction crew, right?
No, I
That's
never
Dr.
heard.
Dre's previous band before NWA, where he could be seen with a pink sequin jumpsuit on because it was a disco group. So he wasn't some hardcore gangster. He was just a music producer.
But you gotta understand, like,
I'm
you
sorry,
can
that's
be a
all,
protester, and you
Sure,
can be an
sure.
activist in your music.
Sure, and you can also capitalize on the fucking misery that's going on around you.
And No, I don't think all the songs in NWA.
I don't think all of
was-
it, but they
okay.
did capitalize.
Right,
and
but I
just
think
what
that,
did they do
but
to
they
get
did,
that?
but they're basically known for fuck the police.
Yeah.
Sure,
And they
sure.
talked about police brutality
Absolutely.
and trying to make it out of the hood,
I
like
agree.
the shit that they had to deal with.
I
So
agree.
that's their story. Their story is real. And if you went on the opposite side on the East Coast, what are some of the rap groups, Mr. King?
Wu-Tang.
Like the Wu-Tang, EPMD. Who else?
Keep going.
Queen Latifah. Now, when they started
Their
to,
message was very
M.
different, though.
Celine, but it was the same, but it was
was-
more fluid and it was
Yeah.
more elevated. But just because this is my philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Truth is truth, no matter how it comes out. If it comes from a bum on the street or from some professor in law school, it's still the truth.
Sure,
so
sure.
It may have been jaggedy and it may have not been pleasing to the
No,
palate, but it
Yeah.
was their truth, and it didn't give me a bad light on
Sure,
the,
I
on
mean,
the
back
black
in-
community. What it did was it scared the fucking police. That when they went on
For the
tour,
uproar.
yeah,
Well,
it
and-
uproared for black
sure,
people to
sure.
say, "Hey, you guys are still
And
killing
that was
us and
Ice-T with
harassing
his
us."
body count, and that
And-
was after Rodney King.
You know?
But also, you have to kind of...
Kind of what?
I don't know. I'm losing my point because I started thinking about Rodney King and the riots and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, the rap in New York, to me, used to be more elevated, used to be more intelligent, used to talk more about poverty. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's where I was going. Back in 2016, I used to remember arguing with people when black people started getting executed by the police. Back 20 years ago, y'all were out there screaming, fuck the police with the NWA. And now that it's on camera, now that you have proof, you want to sit there and act like, oh, no, something must have happened. Oh, no, and deny that there's a fucking problem. So that's another issue with things, is that somehow when it's art and when you don't see it, it's a question. But regardless of all that, let's get back to our final little show.
So we got
here.
Empire, and we have the down. Now, see, the thing is that what with Lucius Lyon, he was trying to be. Well, he was a hip hop Mongol, but he was still thug. You know,
he was
he
a
was
drug
still
dealer
thug.
to get there.
Well,
Crimes.
he wasn't a drug dealer anymore, but he was still thug,
Sure.
and he was committing crimes. He was killing. He had the
And didn't he use
has-
some of his money to finance the record companies? So,
Well, if you watched it from beginning to end,
Yeah.
he started off as a drug dealer and used
Yeah.
it to finance and became a big
Exactly.
hip hop Mongol.
Right.
So he was producing all these wonderful hip hop R&B, and then he produced. Oh, by the
He was
way,
producing even in
what's
the
her
hood.
name? What's her name? Demi Moore's daughter was in there, and that chick can sing for real. She was blowing it out the box. So he produced and created a whole diverse of real life singers that were characters in the show. So, but then then there's Cookie, because Cookie does come into her own at the end in the last season, which they redeemed her, which I thought was great. Then we have Power, and oh my God, I love Power. Y'all see Power?
a few episodes.
Few episodes.
How could y'all not see Power?
Girl,
What the hell?
we don't like bad writing.
You can't
And
say
I don't know
it's
if Power is bad writing.
until you
Yes,
see it.
and
honestly,
honestly, it's just like
Okay.
what you were telling me, torturing you with the war movie. I don't like crime drama. I don't sit around watching shoot 'em up, bang bang.
That's not a crime drama.
But
Power.
I mean, it's still gang,
No, it's
drugs,
not. No,
and
it's not a crime drama. You have to actually.
okay.
No, I'm not. I don't know.
I
don't know
usually,
how-
if I'm watching a TV show, I go for light-hearted.
Are you saying
laughs.
you said shoot 'em up, bang bang?
Regardless, I think the genre to me was a little hardcore,
It's
like
drug
crime
dealer.
drama.
Okay, so you're saying
Yeah,
okay, I got you.
and I don't like
So-
horror. I don't like crime. I don't like
But then you
anything
can
that's
watch.
gritty
You
like
guys
that.
can sit and watch reality shows and see women
Yeah,
get
because nobody
ignorant,
gets shot. Yeah.
But they're ignorant and
Yeah, but
they're
nobody gets shot.
really projecting stereotypes, and you guys can sit and watch that. And I'm
But
like,
it's real life, you know?
no, you
Well,
do not know.
at the end of the day, those
That
are
shit
real
is
Americans.
scripted.
But those are real
Pause.
Americans.
No, there's
Those are real
stories on there
Americans.
that are real.
But
And those
it's-
are
it
real
is
Americans.
still-
it may
it's
not be
still
like what
scripted.
you want it to
Right,
but
they
they
are real Americans.
Okay.
They're
Some
real
of it
people.
is real.
But y'all can watch that.
Yes.
Okay, so I can watch Power. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
we're not
Power.
saying you
No,
couldn't.
it
We
is.
just say
Just
like
like
this.
this.
Let's talk about Power.
tea.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about Power.
Tea.
These girls don't watch Power? What the hell?
I tried.
Okay.
He's too short for me.
Amari,
main
That's
guy.
Omari Hardwick. And you know, by the way, he lives up in Colorado. Anyway, and by the way, he is married to a white
girl.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's not crazy.
But no, listen,
ain't crazy.
That's why he's here. Anyhow, but this was okay. Now I love Power. Again, he was a former drug dealer trying to become legit. That was the whole dynamics. He was trying to be,
opening nightclubs. Is that right?
He opened a nightclub and he was becoming a politician.
He's 5'10".
See, I told you he ain't. But you know what? Wait.
I'm 5'9", so that's still too short for me.
But Rav'n, remember when you said you were dating that guy and you were like, "Hey, I'm going to introduce you to a guy." That guy was like 6'4" or something. Weren't you?
Which guy?
You went out on a date with some. I think he was black, and he was like 6'4".
Oh, he was 6'7".
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
6'7".
yeah. So Rav'n's like 5'10".
I'm a heightist.
Well,
That's what I am.
She's
I am a
5',
heightist. You got to be this tall to ride this ride,
Okay,
baby.
5'6". I'm 5'6". So yeah, you got to be this tall to ride on this
Yeah,
thing.
ride
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
This tall to
Okay.
ride this.
But anyway, Omari Hardwick, love him. He's an amazing actor. And then we have the girl, his wife, who's playing Tasha by Notori Naughton. She's awesome. And so it's basically a drug dealer literally trying to become legit. He opens up a nightclub and then he goes into politics.
Now, does he have a Latina ex-lover?
Yeah,
That's
the one who had it. And she's an ASA. She's ASA. So
what does that stand for?
Attorney State. What is it? AUSA. American United States Attorney. Or Associate United States Attorney. Something like that.
Yeah, some kind of high level government attorney.
Yeah, so she gets
Assistant State Attorney.
Assistant State Attorney.
Just let her struggle.
Yeah, he said there, let me struggle. Come on.
That's a partner for you.
Yeah. So
I was waiting for you to find it. I was like,
Assistant State U.S. Attorney.
Assistant State Attorney.
Assistant State Attorney.
Yeah.
But isn't it AUSA?
No, ASA.
United States of America. It depends on which.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And then
AUSA, like
AUSA
Attorney United States of America.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, yeah.
But anyway.
And then what's the white guy?
Tommy. Now,
Tommy.
Tommy, this is another stereotypical. Tommy was his right-hand man. They were brothers to the end.
And
They
I assume they met in prison.
No, they grew
Oh, my
up.
God.
They grew up. You went there. See the images they're
See how
affecting you.
stereotyped?
Yeah. You really went there.
Oh my God.
5'10", he's too short for you.
Oh, I
Anyway,
know. Trust me, I know. And
That's
he's got that
played by,
nose. I don't like him.
Played by Joseph Seco.
There could be some haters. I'm hating on all the men
I'm
today.
trying to tell you,
I'm
girl.
hating on all the men.
Anyway, so Tommy's his right hand man. They're brothers from the 3rd grade, and they grew up together, selling drugs. So anyway, that was a great movie. But again, here's Tasha again. She's like one of the down-ass chicks the whole time, but she's a mother, very refined. She's articulate. In the end, she starts to open up her own business, but it did not end well for Tasha. She ended up going to prison to save her son, and we're always sacrificing
ourselves,
who we are as Black women.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed, but that is Courtney A. Camp. Is she a Black producer? Courtney A. Camp. So all these shows is like Courtney A.
It was
Camp.
also produced by 50 Cent.
Yes, 50 Cent, who started the show.
Yeah.
Who started the show. Courtney A. Camp. Oh yes, because they would do the talkbacks in the last season, and they did the Power talkbacks. It was really good.
Yeah.
Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Shonda Rhimes. All of these are great producers, directors. These are amazing shows.
Yeah.
And even though. The reason I picked these is because I was looking at a show, a podcast with T.I. and Taraji P. Henson. And she had mentioned, sometimes she does stereotypes, a lot of stereotype roles. But what she does is, and it opened my eyes and my lens on some of this, is she says what she does is learn how to humanize these roles. Because... when you think of Power, if you ever seen it, Tasha all she got with Ghost when she was really young. That's all she knew. She was young. She didn't know who she was. She had kids young. She met him when she was like 16, and they were in the drug game. And even though Ghost was trying to go legit, she was like, no. That's all she knew. She was like, no, don't do it, because she was accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and they lived very nice, very, very nice. And when you think about Empire and you think about Cookie, she was down with her man. She met him again when she's young. So you're talking about these young black women in the hood meeting these drug dealers when they're like, I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't have actual figures, but maybe they're like 14, 15, and they're meeting these 19-year-old drug dealers, and then they're living this lavish life, and you're promoting him. He was only selling drugs because he was trying to get his record deal the whole time. It wasn't like he was trying to make a career out of drugs. And then when she went down and took a case for him, she was like, oh no, you owe me. So yeah, you've been in prison for 18 years. You ain't gonna come out all prissy and soft and this sophisticated black woman. You're gonna have some hood in you. But she was articulate enough to navigate through society, and that's how we can humanize why she did what she did and does what she does in this role. And we can understand why Lucius was as arrogant, and he was like narcissistic, and he built this empire and he wanted no one to take it. He didn't want, and they put a lot of thought things in there about white men trying to break down the black man. I mean, there was a lot of little nuggets throughout the 6 seasons that they had. They're not quite finished yet. There's still a couple of sessions. The Oval, I love it. Again, I'm gonna give Tyler Perry something. Kudos to him. If you're gonna do it interracial, put us in a good light, because every time they have an interracial, they always have either some ugly looking white woman or some ugly looking white man, and I want to see that. I think that's good. I hate that there is a dysfunctional family, but it is entertaining, so I like that. How to Get Away with Murder, I still like the fact that she was a black lawyer. She was professional. She can navigate her way out of anything, and that right in and of itself was very brilliant. So you can probably relate to that if you have this education that you can navigate your way and really talk circles around the white man, especially in the law room. I thought that was pretty powerful. So you can kind of humanize these roles. Hopefully, again, no matter how good a role, no matter how much they open up the doors for us, we got to still have some drama in it to keep us in, because if it was just flat and it's all goody, you're gonna get bored. Even with the Cosby Show, I mean, after so many years, you kind of like, okay, they've covered every topic and we're kind of bored.
Can I mention something?
Absolutely.
I think one of the shows that just stuck out to me outside of this was Greenleaf.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
On OWN. And I think the reason why I really like this show, and one, it's modern, but two, it not only covers a lot of just different details within the black community when it comes to self-care, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to sexual abuse, which is a huge taboo to even express or talk about. And so I would say, if anything, like, that is a great representation of both black family, motherhood, women. I think it just... I like the reality and the rawness of it and what it covers. And just kind of give a little caption about what Greenleaf is about. Greenleaf is about a family who, essentially, the father of the family is a pastor. He owns this huge church. Mega church. And his daughter, one of his oldest daughters, are coming back. And it revolves around her facing her trauma with her family. And just the ins and outs of what religion does to family, and also how to navigate through those aspects. I think the current season revolves around trying to maintain the church within, like, keeping it within their family versus a white person taking over. Yeah, that's happening now. Their white people are trying to take over the church. So it's supposed to be coming. I think it's out on Netflix right now. So. Oh, okay. So that means it's out and stuff. So. Would you say, overall, again, we're talking about images on TV and film from a young adult's perspective, would you say coming, being born in the 90s, heading into the 2000s, and now we're in 2020, that it's getting better, it's worse, it's about the same, or are we still elevating? Do you see more blacks and Latinas? I know we didn't talk too much about Latinas because there's Ugly Betty that you turned me on that I love. That was great. Do you think we're starting to be more prevalent, more positive roles? And can we actually humanize these roles, even if they're stereotypes? I think so, absolutely. I think, too, like, to say that some of these are stereotypes, I think have a little bit of truth, because there are people who do live in the hood and they may act like Cookie, and there may be individuals who act like I don't know the character's name, but Viola Davis in How to Get Away with Murder. I think there's obviously more room for growth, but too, as far as like growing up, I don't think there is enough representation. I think for working adults like me, there is. If that makes sense. Like, I'm not really seeing it in children's shows.
Okay.
Like, all these black shows, even like The Proud Family, like...
Oh, okay, like they had that. Okay. Yeah, we talked about that last week, about representation of having more black cartoons and stuff. And I said they're out there, they're just not on prime time.
They're not on prime TV, yeah.
So you don't see it on prime time in the little cable TV. So anyway, we want to thank our guest Mataji for your input, and we really appreciate it. And we're gonna have more guests like these people. Me and Rav'n are so happy that you guys joined us today. Rav'n, you have any closing remarks?
I do actually. Don't believe the hype. Don't judge a book by its cover. At the end of the day, very seldomly does anybody fit into whatever stereotype you're assigning to them once you actually get to know them and their background and where they come from. So keep an open mind and open up dialogue with people. And on that note, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us on our show. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. We had comments from our last episode. We appreciate it. Our subscribers are increasing slowly, but we really want to put out educational pieces for you from a perspective of actors. I'm Lottie. Oh, remember, you don't have to be asleep to dream, so get up and get out and do something for yourself. I'm LaDios Muhammad, an actor with purpose.
I'm Rav'n Moon, an actor with passion.
And we are actors from the dark side.